I'm Nigel Morris-Cotterill, and this is Financial Crime Basics from FinCrimeTV. In this episode, what is the black money scam? First, let's clarify something. In money laundering, many people talk about dark money, dirty money, black money, and they use the terms interchangeably. They usually mean proceeds of crime, but they want to be less formal. The black money scam is not that. The black money scam is a fraud or scheme. Like most frauds, it goes through periods of being fashionable. The fraud is targeted, often at business owners, because the fraudster presumes that businesses have access to cash. That's cash on hand or cash in the bank that they can borrow, or even that they can borrow to invest in their business. But it has also targeted many people who are known or presumed to have access to cash. The fraud has been committed all over the world. In fact, it's probably hitting the newspapers somewhere in the world as we speak. That's the fraudster's signal to move on and start again in another country. The best of all, from his point of view, is that he doesn't need to carry the tools of his trade beyond a few banknotes. He can buy everything he needs quickly, cheaply and easily wherever he goes. The black money scam is a financial crime because historically it's always been done to provide instant access to cash, which the fraudster then disappears with. But in today's world, it is just as likely to provide instant access to cryptocurrency. On the face of it, the victims are taken in by the lure of easy money, which is of course what the fraudster relies upon. This is how it works. The initial contact will usually result from some form of social engineering. It might be your friend suggested I talk to you, or even someone who makes contact with you through your social life or hobbies or interests. A favourite place is a business class hotel where someone targets a victim sitting alone at the bar. Could even be walking down the street. Only yesterday somebody tried to engage me in conversation by stopping me to tell me that his father lost weight by eating raspberry jam. The discussion will not immediately come to the point, but sooner or later the fraudster will either offer a great opportunity or ask for help. In fact, what the cases show is that the approach is very similar to many of the email frauds widely, but these days inaccurately, known as Nigerian fraud. But the next part of the scheme is different to those, because what happens next is not a classic advance fee fraud. The fraudster will show the victim a piece of usually black paper. He will then apply a few drops of a solution to it, and he'll wipe it. He will say, I can't show you the whole thing here in case people are watching, and a rendezvous somewhere less busy will be arranged where the note will be revealed in its entirety. The secrecy is a vital tool in creating the correct state of mind for the victim. The fraudster will say, I have lots of this, and come up with a plausible excuse, and then comes the pitch. One common story is that the fraudster has to go back to his own country the following day and doesn't have time to clean it all up and bank it. He will offer the money to the victim at a discount because he will have to do the work to clean it up, and he will give the victim a sufficient supply of the fluid. The con depends, to a degree, on speed, and the amount of money involved depends on the fraudster's assessment of the victim's ability to come up with the cash at short notice. We've seen as little as US dollars 5,000, and in one case well over $175,000. So the victim agrees, gets the cash, hands it over in return for a container of fluid and a briefcase or box of black paper. The fraudster's story is that he's in a hurry, and that supports his rapid exit. The victim, of course, then finds out that the paper is actually just black paper, not banknotes covered in black ink, and that the fluid is a weak solution of bleach. The weakness in this scheme has always been that for the story to work, the transfer must take place, giving sufficient time for the criminal to get to a bank before closing time. Cryptocurrency pays no attention to the clock, so a wallet can be charged and a transaction made long before the victim works out that it's a fraud. And more often than not, the transaction will be too difficult or too expensive to trace. Even at $5,000 a time, a criminal can make a substantial living, so this removes the weaknesses. It is amazing how many victims have gone to their own bank, collected cash and handed it over instead of insisting on making a bank transfer directly to the fraudster's supposed account. And yet people are willing to make cryptocurrency transfers into what is, in practical terms, a black hole. The moral of the story is, as always, never make decisions under pressure, especially where the pressure comes from the person trying to get you to make the decision. I know. You thought I was going to say the moral of the story is that if it looks too good to be true, it usually is. Well, that too. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to follow, like and share, and of course to keep watching FinCrime TV. I'll see you next time.